Okay, this first video of the two we have this week is on the measure of an arc. Um, the measure of an arc right now is the same as the measure of an angle. Um, Example. First, you kind of want to know your angles and their measures because if you know those, then the arc that's formed is the same. So in other words, we know that this is a 90 because it's a box, so we know this is 90 degrees. Well, that also means that this arc here formed is also 90 degrees. As long as this is the center, P, then the arc and the angle are the same. Keep in mind that all the way around a circle is 360 degrees. And halfway around is 180 degrees. So if I look at this angle, angle APC, which is this angle, it's 180 because it's halfway around. That means the arc is also 180 degrees. Okay, and finally there's only one more angle and arc combination. If this one's 90, then that one must also be 90. So we do have to use some of the geometry we had before, which means that the arc AB is also 90 degrees. Okay, now once you have all your angles and you know all the arcs, then you can combine to answer the questions. So that's pretty much what you do. You might want to sketch these out when you're doing them in Khan Academy. AB is a minor arc because it doesn't go more than halfway. So arc AB is this arc. Well, that arc we already know now is 90 because we already did the work. That's why you do the work first. Now this one, arc ACB, is like AB, only this time instead of going from A to B, you got to go around the other way. So I have to go A to C to B. So if I'm going to trace the arc ACB, I got to go A to C to B. Okay, well, if I consider that angle, that arc, it's a combination of the 180, this far around, and the 90. So arc ACB, which is a major arc because it's longer than 180 and it's less than 360, is 180, this part, plus your 90, which is going to give you 270 degrees. Finally, the last two we've already answered, and lots of times they have it this straightforward. AC is AC. Well, that's the 90 plus the 90. So 90 plus 90 is 180 degrees. And finally, BC. Well, BC, there's no work to do here. BC, we already have marked, is 90 degrees. Okay, a couple more examples here. Remember, start with getting all your measures, your angles and your arcs first. This one only has one minor angle in it, and then it has one major arc in it. So if I consider what's given, all of this from here to here is 280. That's what it says. So that means this arc all the way around here is 280 degrees. So the major arc, BC A or ACB, is 280. Now if all the way around is 360, that means if I want this one, I take 360. If I want AB, then I got to take this off because it's 360s all the way around, subtract the 280, which is going to give me, I think that's 80. And you can check my math, but I believe this is an 80-degree angle, which makes the arc 80 degrees. Now I'm able to answer all the questions. Angle AB is 80 degrees. That means the arc AB is also 80 degrees. ACB is all the way this way. I have to go from A to C to B, and we know that's 280. Again, that's why I like to mark my answers down first before I start. Okay, a couple more examples here. Now I try to get as many examples that match the ones that you'll see. So this one here, let's see, before I start answering these questions or even reading them, I'm going to look at my diagram and I'm going to sketch it and then I'm going to work it out. Let's see, wait a minute. If this arc, this angle is 20, then this arc is 20. Okay, now I'm confused because, oh, wait a minute. If I go from here to here, that forms a linear pair. That means they add up to 180. So 180, do some side work, minus the 20 gives me 160. So this angle is 160, which means the arc is 160. I'm getting there. Now what I'm going to use is some old geometry. Remember, angles that are across from each other like this are called vertical, and vertical angles are congruent. So this one has to be 20 also, if that one's 20, which means that this arc is 20. So the angle APB is 20, so its arc is 20. Angle BPD is 160, so it's 160, the arc is. And then finally, I only have one more left, and I could do this one too because they're vertical or a linear pair. Either way, I know that this is going to be 160, so angle APC is 160, so the arc is also 160. Okay, now that I have as much as I can marked down on my diagram, I now can look and see if I can answer the questions. APB angle is 20. Arc AB is located here. That's also 20 degrees. Now it says arc ABC. ABC, I'm just getting another color here. A, B, then C. That's got 20 in it. It's got the 160 in it, and it's got another 20 in it. So let's add those three together to give me the arc A, B, all the way to C. I could say A, B, C, or I could say A, D, C. It's the same arc. So 20 plus the 160 plus the 20, add them together and you get 200 degrees. So angle APC, that's supposed to be an angle APC. Dang it. I did all that work and I didn't even look at the right thing. Should have said P, angle APC. That angle is 160. It's written right there. How silly. Which means the arc is AC is just 160. I was thinking arc ABC, which is this way. Okay, next one. So you got to take your time with these things. All right, next one. I'm not going to read this again. I'm going to mark all my stuff. Now, I've got a bunch of marks in here, and so I'm just going to take my time and sketch it, and then I'm going to work this out first before I put it on my computer. We know this is 90. That's straightforward. We also know that from here to here, all this is 180. So I'm going to put these two together and take it away from 180. So 90 plus 60 is 150, and I'm going to take it away, and that gives me 30. Just to check, add your 90, 30, and 60, and you get 180 degrees. Again, that's because these total up to halfway around. Now, if I look carefully, this angle here is a vertical pair with this one. So if that's 60, this one's 60. And finally, I got this last angle. These combine for 180. So that means I can take this from 180 and I get 120. It also is a vertical pair with these two combined. 90 plus 30 makes this other one 120. Once I have the angles, I can do the arcs because they're the same. This central angle is the same as this arc. This central is the same as this one. That's 90, so this arc is 90. That's 60, so this one's 60 degrees. And this arc is a very big one. It's 120 degrees. So now that I have as much as I can marked, I can now change my colors here and try to answer the questions. First one is arc BC. Here's BC right here. That's nice. I don't have to do any work. It's just 60 degrees. Now let's see where CD is. CD is located here. That one I don't have to do any work for. It's just 120. Now let's look at DE. DE is pretty nice too. DE is right here. DE. That arc is 60. Again, I did all this work first. Then I did my questions. AE. Again, how nice. It's just right here. I don't have to combine anything. It's just AE. It's 90. And then finally it says AB. Well, AB is just 30. Now, I could ask one more question just to make this one a little bit more entertaining. I could ask a major arc or one that combines multiple arcs. I could say something like, let's see, arc A, B, D. Now, if I can ask that one, or I can also ask the question A, E, D. Let's look at the difference between those two. A, B, D is this arc. A, B, D. Which means I have to add up the 30, the 60, and the 120. I can do the math real quick for you, and that's 210. I added all three of them together because arc ABD is this direction. Now if I want to do AED, I got to go towards the E. AED. That's this one. So if I look at AED or DEA, I'm combining the 60 and the 90. When I add them together, I get 150 degrees. One more example. Again, pause and relax in between each one because I don't want you getting frustrated with this. Last one. This one's a little more unique because this one has these two marks in it, which basically tells me they're the same. That's great. Now remember, I'm not going to read this. I'm covering this up. All I'm doing is worrying about filling this blanks out for me. So I'm sketch it, and now I'm going to do the work. Let's see. First thing I see is this angle and this angle. They create that vertical. So that means they're the same. So 40, that's got to be 40. Now if that's marked the same as that mark, then this one also has to be 40 degrees. Okay, now let's look at what else we have. Okay, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing this line and this one combined should be 180 because it forms that linear pair. It's halfway around. So 180 minus the 40 is 140 degrees. This one here is combined here all the way around. That's 40 and that's 40. That's 80. And that far around is halfway around is 180. So take your 180, subtract the 80 that I get from these two, and it gives me 100 degrees. Now that I have my angles, I just mark my arcs. That one's 40 because that's 40. That angle was 40, so this arc is 40. That one's 100, so this one's 100 degrees. That's 40, that's 40 degrees. That's 140, that's 140 degrees. So I'm looking at it and I say I've got all my arcs taken care of, so now I can combine or find any questions they ask me and I'm ready to answer them. Remember, there's two steps. Step one, fill in your stuff, get the arcs and angles filled out, and then go get busy on the answers. AB. A to B. Nice and easy. Mine easy. 40. AC. Well, it's not a major arc because they didn't use a third letter. I don't want to go this way because that would make a bigger than 180 mark. That's not how you write major arcs. Major arcs, you write 3 letters. Major arc has more than 180 degrees. That only has 2 letters. So I'm going to go AC. That's a combination of this one and this one. 40 and 40 is 80 degrees. Sorry. Now this one has 3 letters, so it could be a major arc. So I'm going to do that one in green because it might be confusing. Let's check it out. D, A, D, to A, to B. D, to A, to B. That's a combination. So DAB, DAB, is a combination of 40 plus the 140 plus the 40. If I add those 3 together, I get 220 degrees. Okay, now we've got another major arc here. And lots of scribbling on my paper here. Let's see. B, C, all the way around to A. Oh my God, that's a hot mess. Let's try red on that one. B, all the way, B to C, all the way to A. B to C, then all the way to A. B, C, keep going, all the way to A. 40, 100, 40, 140. So I've got to add the 40. I've got to add the 100. I got to add the 40. And I got to add the 140. And I put that in my calculator. And I get 320 degrees. Man, that's a big major arc right there. It's bigger than 180. All that's missing is this 40 here. And coincidentally, if you take 320 and you add your 40, you get 360, which is, of course, all the way around. I hope CD is a simple one. CD, C to D, that's only this little piece here. That's 100 degrees. Okay, that's it for this one. The next one is the same idea, only instead of giving you angles, now we're going to do some algebra and create algebra problems. So it's going to take you a little longer on that one, but just follow my video.